We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on new freedom exchange, we freeing your brain. They tryna shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Imam Bilal to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host, Mujahideen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Walaikum assalam, everyone. Welcome. We are live, New Freedom Exchange, on all platforms, YouTube. So hit that subscriber button and share. We're also on Facebook. Like us there as well and share on New Freedom Exchange with X. And if you're watching from the network side of things as well, check us out on Facebook and YouTube respectively under New Freedom Network and subscribe to those channels. So it's great to have everyone back in the space. Hope everyone is having a great Saturday so far, and then they had a great week. And we have another great show in store tonight, inshallah, God willing. So we're going to do a quick what's up to the folks. If you are tuned in, wherever you tuned in from, give salams in the space. Let us know where you're tuned in from so we can shout you out on the screen in the show. How's everyone doing? Sister Marsha and Brother Deen.
Doing pretty well. So I got a different background today, but it's only because I'm usually see me coming from my couch, but my daughter's sick today, so she on the couch take over, so I'm not there. So right now I'm nursing a sick little baby. Not so much of a baby, she's 11, but that's going on. And then so for those, I don't even know if I mentioned this on here before. I probably did. I'm a crafter. I love everything crafty. And so I'm redoing my my craft room in my home. So if I turn this camera around, it's gonna look real crazy, y'all. But I enjoy every minute of it. I was in here like painting at 11 o'clock at night. Because once I get a vision, that's it. It has to come to life. Like I have to make it. So inshallah, I'll be done today or tomorrow. We'll see. How about y'all?
Good. We were at the weekly farmers market here in Queens. What's it, Laurelton? Yeah, I got so many hoods out here in New York.
Yes.
But yes, he was out there with the prosperity pie and greeting the people. Good times. I'm trying to think what else happened this week. Oh, I'm not going to mention that here. I just shared on my platform, though, that I did on this organization called the African Diaspora Collective, where they are a group that's connecting the different diasporas around America in particular to those in Africa. And so that's a pretty big venture that's going with that. So I'll just do it for now. But your brother, man.
Alhamdulillah, everything is well. Everything is well. Alhamdulillah, we are continuing pushing the prosperity pie. So alhamdulillah, we are making progress slowly but surely, and baby steps to the right direction of getting this product that we have homegrown into more spaces of retail and out to the general public, and for it to be widely accessible. So alhamdulillah, it has been greatly received from the community and by far and in between. Also, really quickly, shout out to my grandmother today, who has turned 92 years old. So
Happy
shout out
birthday,
to
Grandma.
Yeah, shout out to Grandma, 92 years old today. So, blessings on life. We have we're not promised tomorrow, so alhamdulillah for every second, every minute, every hour we get. So, alhamdulillah for that. So so that's been my week. We want to not be leaguer because we have so many people to get to today, so many special guests. 2 events we're promoting tonight that are coming up in the month of June. One is coming up before the other next weekend, in Atlanta is the Imam Muhammad's language conference that's been put together by the students from Sister Khadija Muhammad Sadiq cohort, her university, her institution that she has put together this conference that's happening in Atlanta. So we have a special guest from the cohort, Sister Albertha Sabri, who is with us, and we would like to bring her on now so she can share, introduce herself, and share with us what's going to be happening in Atlanta next weekend.
Welcome.
Assalamualaikum, sis.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm thankful to be here with you all and to be on New Freedom Exchange. So that's such a blessing. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So nice to see you. So I'm excited to know a little bit more about this conference. I know when it first started to circulate social media, it was like, ooh, I want to go to that. And it's so many events happening across the community right now, and the energy is great, right? It's good to just see like all of this stuff popping up. But I'm like, wait a minute, y'all, like it can't all be happening at the same time because I can't get to it all. But tell us a little bit more. Tell us about you, but also tell us about this conference and what we can expect.
Yes, ma'am. Alhamdulillah. So as Imam Bilal stated, I'm a part of cohort 1 of the Students of Imam Muhammad Program of Study for Adults that was started, founded and taught by Sister Khadija Sadiq Muhammad. So I applied and entered the program in August of 2018. And then I finished a year ago, spring 2022. And so that's me as well as my cohort members. And then additionally, when we entered the program, part of the requirements was to begin to think through a community project that will give back year after year. And so this past year, although we weren't in the program studying, like taking classes, we were still meeting as a cohort, conceptualizing our community project. So the language of Imam Dabidi Muhammad is going to be the first annual conference, inshallah. And as Imam Bilal said, it will be a week from today. So Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 in Austell, Georgia. And the purpose of the conference is to bring the students from all around the country to come together to study in person. And so it's going to be a different format than conferences that we've seen before, where there will be like a set guest speaker. The goal and the focus is similar to the focus of the program, where each one of the cohort members, we were all in our different spaces of work, but the goal was to see each other and see like, how can we work together to establish this community life and to continue to progress, not just in our individual fields, but collectively.
Okay, so I love that because two things, right? I love the fact that the program has a component to it that challenges you all to endeavor in a community project, right? Because that's very collegiate, right? And so we're used to seeing those kinds of things when we're in higher education. We're going towards our degrees, and they want us to do a capstone project, right? And so I love that this is along the lines of that, because it's important for us to start seeing the education that we seek out Islamically on that level, right? And then the second piece that I absolutely love is that there's this intention to figure out how you all can work together. And I feel like that energy is sort of just creeping into our community in general. And it's beautiful, right? Because there are so many of us who have skill set and experiences and just knowledge that could take us as a community so much further. But a lot of it is real disjointed, right? And so the fact that there is this current intention to see, how can I work with you? We're in the same industry. We're in similar industries. What can we do so that, it's great to be able to, get a job or career in a certain path and excel for yourself. But imagine being able to take those skill sets and help to build your community. And that's kind of like how I see my job. I mean, I love them in my job, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm using as much of this as I can to help, the people that I know and love. So I love both those components. I think it's great.
Yes, ma'am. And then additionally, just building off what you said, Sister Marsha. So yes, like seeing each other in that similar field of work, but also being able to see like outside the field of work. Like one of my cohort members is now a residency doctor and will be starting at IU Health hospitals, inshallah, right after right after the upcoming conference. So she begins a week after that. And with that, it was like working together and beginning to see like, okay, what are the challenges and opportunities in the health field and in the field of medicine, something that I know very little about. And then what are the challenges and opportunities in like the field of education and mathematics, as well as like with just raising a family and like just the community challenges. And so being able to see that even though we're in these different spaces, when we come together around the language of Imam Muhammad, it helps us to see not just ourselves united within the same community, but beginning to see how these fields of industry actually come together to allow for us to progress. Because like when we're in K through 12, we study all of these fields, not to that degree, but like math, science, reading, social studies, and culture. All of those are key components of a child's education. But when we go off into the colleges, it's like we get tracked into a specific college and a specific university and then a specific job. And all of our research happens in that particular field. And so for me, that would be the field of education, or more specifically, mathematics education. But then we don't really know the challenges that are happening within the other fields, like the new growth that's happening within the computer sciences or the data sciences, or the challenges that are happening in government and the opportunities that are happening there. And so beginning to see that, well, as Imam Muhammad challenged us or told us and inspired us to remake the world, that to do that, we need to see each other in all of our fields and like the resources we have in each other, and begin to see how we can work together to develop our community life, but not just for our individual selves, but for a society as a whole.
In this program, and then you say you're also in education, how do you see like the language of Muhammad enhancing that? Like, what are some key things that really appreciate as being a person in education?
So for me, when I entered the program, I was in the middle of my first year teaching 8th grade mathematics in the public school system. So I feel like that says enough to denote like all of the challenges that occur like in middle school. And I went in with the goal, because I've tutored for many years prior to teaching. I started tutoring when I was in 8th grade, like helping students to begin to pass like the state test. The Georgia state test at the time was the CRCT. And then I tutored as a student at my college, helping the students to get through those challenging math classes. And then the last tutoring job that I took on was at a high school, helping the students to get through that calculus class that every student was required to take in the 12th grade. And what I noticed time and time again, just from my own self, was like, okay, the students aren't doing well because they don't have the foundational skills. So I went into 8th grade. I'm like, if they can get the foundational skills before they get to 9th grade, they will be fine. Like they will excel. And so I went in with that as the goal. And essentially, that was my cornerstone. So no matter what, you have to know how to solve a 2-step equation. No matter what, you have to do this. No matter what, you have to know all of these math standards. And inside the educational field, I began to prioritize the standards. But what I recognized was that the social challenges that were pulling at the students pretty much impeded their understanding or impeded their ability to receive the concepts that I was trying to give them in mathematics. And that challenge going back and forth, I'm like, but why are the students throwing in the classroom? Why are they cheating on the test? Why are they talking about each other? Why, essentially, are we not progressing? And so that was essentially what I wrote up in my application when I applied to the Students of Imam Muhammad program of study for adults. There were 2 questions. 1, why do you want to study the language of Imam Muhammad? And 2, how do you envision using the language of Imam Muhammad in your field of work and study? And so I talked about that, like the students asking, like, why do I need this? I already know how to get a job. I don't need mathematics. I don't need this. And so studying on my own, I was able to see like, okay, well, how I can apply it to my individual life. But when I entered into the program, Sister Khadija told us that no, our job is to, yes, grow our individual lives, but we're also challenged to do dawah with systems of knowledge. The systems of knowledge are Muslim, and when we call them upon their proper foundation, they will come. And so over the course of 4 years, my specific focus in the program was on mathematics exploration. And so in one of the lectures, Imam Muhammad talks about like relationships and how the most important relationship that has to be in any structure or foundation is the black stone, that cornerstone, respect for human life or respect for that common human value. And so even though I started my classroom with the phrase like, welcome, this room is a sanctuary, all who enter must keep the peace. When it came time to teach, that went out the window. And okay, do you know how to do a two-step equation was the focus. Did you do your math homework? But then as I continued to study in the class over the course of the years I was teaching, I began to stop the class. I'm like, math doesn't go forward if we're disrespecting our classmates. Math can't go forward if this is happening. And so by my 3rd year of teaching, I would hear in the hallway the students telling each other, oh no, this classroom's a sanctuary. You can't say that word. This classroom is this. You can't say that word. And so they begin to see that my emphasis is not on mathematics, but it's on you as a human person. And when we value that, as Imam Muhammad showed us, that is the structure upon which everything else can grow and develop and progress.
Doctor, we was joking behind the scene about the doctor. We can see why he about to be the doctor.
Inshallah.
No, so I think this is great. More opportunities for us to really did a deep dive into our leaders' language and its application, as you mentioned, in our everyday life, including our professional development, which is kind of severed. You know, when you think about it, we have a lot of professionals, young and old, in our community who who may not have this connection to the Imam's language like this, so there's always been a concern. I won't say issue, but it definitely is something to address, and I think this conference is addressing that. Is addressing the group of professionals that have not made that connection between their professional development and their professional lives and their successful lives, independent lives, and their families. You know, that's where it's kind of, from my observation, I see it's kind of severed. You know, so I don't know what your take is on it, coming from a professional at this stage of your development. You know, how do you see this conference addressing that problem or that concern that we have with the disconnect between the professionals and that of the language of Imam Muhammad?
Imam Bilal, the first thing that comes to my mind is one of the concepts that we studied over the course of the year, which is the concept of Adam and our progressive responsibility. So the connection between Adam and work, the connection between Adam and knowledge, and Adam and our social relationships. And so usually we see those identities as separate, but through Prophet Adam, we're able to see those as one and the same. Where Prophet Adam and the social relationships, I think of what you're saying in terms of like family. Like before I attended the program, I saw my responsibility just in like really developing my family and my own social networks. But when I attended the program, it was like, well, are you volunteering at the masjid? Are you using these same skills that you're given to the public school system? Are you also helping out at the Sister Claire Muhammad Weekend School? You can teach them math as well. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And so beginning to see our social relationships, not just as limited to family, but family as that context that upon which we enter into the broader community. And sometimes one of the tendencies that I saw inside of myself, and I'll use myself as an example, is to go directly from family to work. And that's the only connection there. In terms of like social relationships within a family, work within a school system, but they never necessarily interact. And then this idea of knowledge or seeking knowledge is usually an individual pursuit within this community, or not within the community. I'm referring to within the society, so our larger community. Whereas like, okay, well, I go to college, I go to the university, then I get a job. And so that's usually individual, where it's like, I can't talk to anyone. I can't do any social activities. I can't volunteer here. I can't do anything until I complete this course of study. But one of the things that I found was very beautiful about cohort 1 was that my cohort members, they were both at the university studying, but also they were studying at the university within our community. And that's the name of the organization, Establishing a University in Our Community. So what would it take, or what would we see if we begin to study within our community with our cohort members? And then the last piece that I wanted to share is that you didn't necessarily have to be a professional to be within a program. You didn't even necessarily have to finish your high school diploma, but beginning to see that within each community member, there is something valuable that they offer to the community.
I think that that's awesome. Like I'm excited. The stuff like this, make me want to jump through the computer. Seriously though, and like I said earlier, there's a different kind of energy that you just kind of feel. At least I feel it, right? Developing and stirring in the community, and my prayer is that whatever is being birthed from this is fruitful, and it's beautiful, and it's progressive, because we talked, and as in several of the questions that were already asked, we talked about how it's very easy for us to make these compartmentalized separations in our lives, right? And so, Islam is here, and work is here, and family is here, and none of them intermingle. And as I think about new Muslims coming into the fold, my prayer is that they get it on the ground, right? They get it on the ground floor, that it's all intermingled, right? It's one life. And on top of that, with sort of enhancing that with the language of Imam Muhammad, will just skyrocket the situation, because there's he provided so much insight on Islamic concepts that people weren't necessarily gravitating to or grabbing onto, and in my opinion, it makes it so those insights that he provided make it so much easier to live out Islam, because it is it's profound and simplistic all at the same time, and a lot of times people run away from things that they feel like are complicated, but I feel like Imam Muhammad had a way of explaining and expounding on something that made it so basic, but also like, wow, I didn't even think about it like that, but as I think about the incorporation of those things into who we are in our workplace, in our careers, in our families, in our masajid, just all over, who you are always, all the time, and reconciling that. When Imam Bilal asked you the question, that's the first thing that came to my mind, is the reconciliation of all those multiple lives into the one life that we all live. And so I'm curious to know, is this conference for any and everyone?
Yes, ma'am. So we're looking at adults and adults starting at age 12, where they begin to enter into that frame of mind where it's like, okay, I'm looking ahead. I'm not necessarily seeing myself as a child. So adults 12 and over are welcome to attend the conference. Inshallah, everyone is able to attend. And so we're really hoping that the community will be able to be present, inshallah, next Saturday. I also wanted to respond to something else that you had mentioned, Sister Marsha, as well, like in regards to seeing our lives like in separate compartments. And one of the things that I was thinking, like even with the field of work and study, we normally use the blueprint that's been given to us. And I recognized by my third year of teaching that I was actually charting out a new way of doing mathematics which is one of the reasons, Imam Bilal, I decided to go back to school to see if I can now establish it more broadly outside of just my classroom. But I remember being nervous, as I feel like most teachers are when you go against the grain, where it's like, okay, so I know we're supposed to follow this curriculum exactly to the T, but there's another way that Allah is guiding me to do it. And one of the concepts that we talked about in the program was the one who created you will guide you. So you may not necessarily know exactly how things will unfold, but watch for those moments of guidance that unfold in the context of community. So your students are giving you signs and indications. And so through that, I was like, okay, we're going to just change this around. We're not just going to do this first, this first, this first. And then I was being observed. And that's one of the, I guess, critical points of a teacher is when the principal or administration comes in to observe you. And I remember on that day wondering, I'm like, should I just for one day do what they normally do, or should I do what I've been doing all of the time, which is following Allah's guidance? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start with math exploration, because normally we were supposed to start with the curriculum. This is the opening, and then we do this problem, and then we do this problem. It's all standardized. So there's a blueprint essentially. And I remember just having faith and saying that I'm going to do it the exact way I've been guided to do it. And that was the highest evaluation I received. And then at the end of the year, the principal was like, wait, how did you make the students grow so high? How did you do this? I was like, So I laid out what I did. But I'm like, how can we actually, as researchers, and this is where I am now, put down this guidance that we've been given, that we just take, we apply and we use, but how can we put it to show that the language of Imam Muhammad is universal? It's given us universal guidance. And Imam Muhammad talked about in the same address that I'm referring to, how the Constitution, it says we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. And so through that, they established it upon the proper foundation, saying, like I said, okay, welcome, this room is a sanctuary, all who enter must keep the peace. But then we forgot about the foundation and moved in a different direction. And so how can we, in the educational systems, in the field of medicine, in the fields of industry and computer science and the data sciences, how can we not just have this as something that we say we want to do and aspire towards, but begin to see how we can actually make it a reality? And so that's why I wanted to address that idea of the different compartments. How can we make this how can we begin to see the unity in all of our different responsibilities in life? And I feel like the language allows us to do that. The language allows us to unite.
Excellent. So here you have it. That was just a preview of what you're about to experience this upcoming weekend, Saturday, June the 3rd. Here's the flyer. I did put up on the screen a short link. We also have the Eventbrite link. We did make a quick short link. You have to put it as it is. It's case sensitive. So capital I, capital W, capital D, capital M, capital C, conference, and you'll get the link to their Eventbrite, or you could just the Eventbrite as we have it in the comments. So we thank you, Dr. Tabi Albertha Sabri, inshallah, and I look forward to the success of this event. And anyone who from the conference, you guys are welcome to come back and share updates or any other future project you all are working on. We have Sister Khadija on our platform a few times. We appreciate her always responding and giving us an ear and a word. So thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Brother Mujahideen, and thank you, New Freedom Exchange. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We were blessed because of it.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with part 2 of this exclusive promo show, the 30th Annual Islamic Heritage Festival. Artists, they're with us. We have some of the artists with us. So we'll be back after this break.
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. They say May the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown, and to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers, the healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's groundage is. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundage is. We help heal the hurt. So put us on. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on. We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on new freedom exchange, we freeing your brain. They tryna shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Imam Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
We're back. And thank you for joining New Freedom Exchange, your cause of expression for social dignity and empowerment. I'm here with Deen, Sister Marsha, and Imam Bilal. How y'all feeling? Part 2.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. We're ready for part 2. Beautiful top of the hour with Sister Alberta Sabri from the cohort of Sister Khadija Muhammad Sadiq's Language Institute for studying Imam Muhammad's language. And that conference is next Saturday, so in Georgia. So get down and get your tickets and go down and be with the believers. But now we're traveling up north, went down south on 95, and now we're coming back up north, back up 95, going back to the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, where it will be going down the week after that, ICPIC, the 30th annual Islamic Heritage Festival and Parade. 30 years, brothers and sisters, 30 years. At Penn's Landing, at the historic Penn's Landing. This is the flyer here with the orders. Saturday, it will start Friday, June 9th, and go into Saturday, June 10th. Friday was Jummah prayer at the Independence Hall with Imam Rashad Abdul Rahman, the sister Imam of Atlanta Masjid of Al-Islam, will be the Khatib on Friday. And then Saturday is the parade and also the cultural expression, which we have some of the artists with us right now on this flyer here in the queue. We have our very own brother Zaid Hamid, who's with us. We have brother Barakat Salam and brother Yusa Assad. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Please, brother, correct me if I'm not doing that. But they're here with us.
Accent out, man. Clear that accent out.
So without no further ado, we want to bring our brothers on. We have the brothers on today, so let's bring our brothers on.
Welcome.
Yeah, all the brothers are coming on.
Assalam.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's good to have you with us. I'm excited for ICPIC. This will be my second one, inshallah. So I was there last year, bumping my head. I do remember seeing Brother Barakat Salam there. I do remember you on the stage. I remember. And I think you performed that A Time to Be Grateful.
Yep.
Grateful. And of course, my brother Zaid, when I saw you on the fly, I was like, yes, snapping. I was snapping already. But we're so happy to have you all with us here tonight. As you all know, we're promoting ICPIC. It's going to be a time. And so we just wanted to bring you on and get the buzz flowing, and also just hear a little bit more about you, who you are, your artistry. I was just having a conversation earlier this week about the fact that so many of not just young Muslims, but when I was talking, I was really referencing young Muslims, but there's so many young Muslims in our community who have no idea that these artists are amongst us. You know what I mean? And so anytime there's an opportunity to get exposure for us amongst us, I'm promoting it because it's important that we know. I think I was saying to Mujahideen, you know, we sometimes we go to Eid, right? And there's music there, right? But you know, I'm in Jersey, so you know, it's Jersey Club playing and I'm feeling it, but I'm also like, there are also artists in our community that we could be playing too. And a lot of times in our social settings, we're not bumping y'all. And I don't think it's right. So I'm on a protest. but all that aside, tell us about who you are, your artistry, and you know, go from there. I see Yusha on my screen first. I'm not sure if everybody sees it differently, so we'll start with
I'm about to
Yusha.
say alphabetical order going backwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how I see it. Right. So we'll go ahead, Yusha.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum again to y'all.
Walaikum salam.
So yeah, Yusha Assad, recording artist, motivational speaker, master certified life coach. Music has just been in me since I was a kid. Started making music actually when I was like 7 years old. The music I would say that I make, I really call it hip hop soul. I'm originally from North Carolina, so a lot of the music that I do just has that Southern soul in it. But for me, man, making music was just really about utilizing the gifts that the Most High gave me. To teach, to give, to love, and to just spread. You know, when I was a kid, I used to make music selfishly for myself. Like, you know, whatever I wanted to talk about with not necessarily any regard or any responsibility to what I say. But when I realized the power of music, especially as a former educator, then I started to use music as just a way to like help people heal, help people find love and find space. And I don't know if anybody truly believes in the power of manifestation, but I've written too many songs that came true. And so after that, I had to start giving credit to like the idea that like these things that come out of my mouth have way too much power. And I don't want them to, you know, if something's going to come true, I want to speak and put power to these rhymes and to this rhythm, to things that I actually want to see come true. So if you listen to a song like 10, which is a song that I wrote in 2019, it speaks to a time period for Black folks where we're coming into our full consciousness, right? We know we do Dhikr, we do it 33, but you can also do a 10, which represents consciousness. So there's a relation to that. So I'm very thankful to be doing music the way I am. My movement is called With Great Care. We tell people don't strive to do great things. We do all things with great care, purpose, and intention. And that's all in the music. So, you know, thankful to be a part of this year's, you know, conference, and I'm looking forward to just doing what I do and letting the Most High come through me in that space. You know what I mean? Work through me in that space.
Thank you for that. Go ahead, Zay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Well, you know, I guess I'm a new Freedom Exchange regular now. This is the thing, and I'm not ashamed for that. Definitely grateful to be here. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, no, this opportunity was something, you know, I see as a huge blessing. So I was on you all's broadcast a couple months back, releasing my first poetry book, If You Only Knew. Been writing poetry for the last 8 years. The last 4 of which have really been centered about taking the language that Allah has blessed us with and, you know, blessed our community with, and being able to create what I call these excellent expressions. And in that same area of what Brother Yusha was saying, is knowing that, you know, in our communications, through our performance, through our art, it's always given life, you know, because Allah has allowed us that ability through our words. You know, words make people. And those words and those intentions that we put in what we do, knowing that we're leading with what Allah has blessed us with, and being able to really provide that in an entertaining manner that's really speaking life to everything that it's saying is a real big thing. So, you know, alhamdulillah, since I was last on y'all broadcast, like I've been able to perform in Houston, Detroit, you know, Philly's going to be a really big show for me. Being able to really get outside of Atlanta with sharing my poetry with the community and really being embraced with open arms across generations with the community has been a really big thing. The support with the book purchases, all of that has enabled me to be able to do more and more. And Allah's blessed me to be able to do what I can do, you know, on this Philly stage with 30 years of history. We're just coming off of the E-Fest in Atlanta, and that was already something, you know, a real blessing for the city, for our community, to be in the leadership of that and being able to bring that to life. And then just after that, I learned about 30 years of history with Philly and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, all these stages that allow us to be able to share these expressions, you know, for not just our community, it's for the community at large, and to really be able to show the excellence of Al-Islam and what that has done to the Black people of the United States. That's something big, and I don't take that lightly. So every stage that we're, you know, able to grace and bless and show our presence upon, we're already, you know, to know that we are to showcase what Allah has given us, and Allah only gives us excellence. It's just us to accept that and really share it. So I'm really looking forward to Philly coming up in June.
And now we got Brother Barakah Salam. I feel like I need to be on the stage introducing you or something. I gotta come up with something. You know? Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How's everyone doing?
Wa alaikum assalam.
So yeah, I'm Barakah Salam. Definitely a recording artist, also a structural civil engineer. Have my own company, Architectural Technology Solutions. I just got back into the music world 3 years ago after taking a 13-year hiatus. I stopped writing for a long time. You know, I was, you know, talking crazy back in the day and stuff like that. So now, you know, it's a different path for me. You know what I'm saying? It's a different path for me to talk about Islam, to talk about Deen, to talk about our way of life, and things like that, in a positive manner. You know, no cursing, no talking bad. You know what I mean? We just talking real life situations and stuff like that. So this is my second year coming back to IHF. So alhamdulillah for that. Last year was actually my first show being on stage after that 13-year hiatus. So I mean, that right there, I was very nervous when I got back on stage, but alhamdulillah, you know, after being back on stage, it was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is where I needed to be and stuff like that. So, and I want to kind of like camel back off of what Yusha said about our words, manifestation. I said in one of my songs, it's called Die for this. Be careful of your words, they could be kun fayakun. So when we talk, we really have to be careful of what we say, especially to the youth, to everyone. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very, very careful in your speech. And so with this music that we're doing, and I term it Dawa music or hip hop, HAQQ, right? Hip hop. So we just have to be very, very careful, you know what I'm saying, and talking to everyone and stuff like that. So that's it. I'm happy to be here. Alhamdulillah. I see everybody's beautiful face. The Noor is shining on everyone. Alhamdulillah. So I'm here. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Alhamdulillah.
Look, I saw Deen get excited when you said hip hop, because he like those words.
I'm about to
excited.
I mean, that's creative. I mean, it's really creative, and it shows again the importance of expression, and importance of putting words together. The art of emceeing, you know, the wordsmiths is what they call them. But I have a question. You know, I don't want to. It's tied to the artistry, right? And especially amongst Muslims, you know, with ICPIC being one of the places that they've been highlighting artists for 30 years. And there's other stages across the country that have been doing the same, far in between. But Barakah Salam, you mentioned something that I'd like to go back to, this hiatus of struggle for Muslim artists. And we've come across that too, even since we've been starting our platform here. You know, we've come across a lot of some artists who actually have struggled, you know, with maintaining identity of Islam and their craft at the same time. It's like almost like they not identical twins. They want to be identical. They want to be separate, even though they are identical. You understand what I'm saying? But they don't want to be next to each other. So it's like, how does one? Like the artists are like struggling. Those artists trying to rectify that within themselves. Can we talk about brothers tonight just briefly? And I'd like to start with Zaid, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. My response to that, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief because that's a wide topic. You know,
Yes, very white.
that's what I do. And that's the difference between me saying I've been writing for 8 years, but the last 4 years have been really focused on really reflecting that identity in all of my poetry. What I would say is for me, you know, honestly, it's just a reflection of my faith. The stronger my faith is, one, and then two, the stronger my will is to actually perform and display this art. My faith has to be stronger than my will to display the art, because then my will to display the art to say, by any means, and I would discard elements of my faith that have to keep it in check. So if I'm leading with my faith, and then my willingness to perform and display follows that, like the other half, if it follows that in the right way, then they can act is they can it turns into something beautiful. So I say that's my thing right there. I would say, honestly, just the counter of what I said is that challenge comes where if the worldly expression is trailing your taqwa, then you're going to lead with what serves that expression first, when everything we do should be serving our taqwa. So when leading and serving with that, then it just makes sense. But now your urge and drive to actually pursue that expression has to be there. And that's where the other obstacles come as far as community support, family support, access to resources to really be able to engage that art. That's when that becomes a secondary issue. But if all those quote unquote secondary things that can lead that expression come first and that taqwa isn't there, then you're going to see everything in the world come out in that artistic expression, and it's going to be, literally out of bounds. So that's what I can share with that.
Real quick, ever since you and the Muslim culture kind of like did y'all aqua lens, I kind of been using it a lot, so I give you the credit now while we on the show. But when I out here teaching and stuff like that, that's definitely a crucial principle.
Absolutely, leading everything. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I like what Zay said. He talked about everything leads from his faith. So there's we all know the scene in Malcolm X where Malcolm is in prison. He's in the shower, and Brother Baines wants to talk to him, but Malcolm can't hear him. So Brother Baines gives him something to ease his addiction. And after his addiction is eased and he can hear, Brother Baines then starts to give him truth. And then from that point on, he starts to give him truth. And so just like Surah 55, I think there's a duality that we all deal with within ourselves. It's I want to be able to give my people the purest form of truth. But sometimes, as Lauren would say, they don't hear me unless I talk to them in a language that they already understand. And sometimes I think the question is, is the desire to speak to the choir, those who already understand the language, or is the desire to give knowledge and information access to the general population and to the world? And I think that dichotomy within itself can float with faith-based artists or artists who have a strong faith alignment, because we know that our people don't necessarily they talk and they use a certain type of dialogue, the way they come. And so we want to communicate to them sometimes in ways that reaches them where they are, but still pulls them from that place. And so I say that also to be you end up writing what you have in you. There's a verse in the Bible that I love too that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And whatever you have in your heart is essentially what's going to come out of your mouth. And so, I can tell, you might not give me a surah, but I can tell if you read Quran based off your thinking, based off what you share in your music and how you process things and how you process concepts. And I feel like our duty is to, through our artistic expression, is to just continuously in our own faith practices feel ourselves with the highest truth that we know, and then to process that in conversations through music and through artistic expression that allows our brother beside us, who may not have the rhetoric, to still hear good thinking.
Oh, you trying to start a cipher up in here, man. I'm about to put the beat on, man. Jada already tried to kick it off. Jada's like, we need the collaboration. About to get a cipher, but go ahead, Barakat.
I definitely think art is definitely like one of those things that's subjective. Um, and art comes from what you wear, what you say, how you feel. Everybody, you know, everybody knows how to draw, but somebody might not know how to draw with a paintbrush. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might not know how to draw with a pencil. I've seen artists draw with just a spray can. You know what I'm saying? And they actually are creating that art. You know what I mean? And it is very, very subjective. And so what we do with this Islamic type of music or whatever, it's expressing us in the, like you said, somebody said, like in the purest form of us understanding our deen and stuff like that. For instance, I have a song called Hijabs and Thobes, and that's the art form of what I wear. I got the kafaya on, I got the thobe on, right? And I'm giving you that freedom of expression, that art form, and within words and stuff like that. And so, art is definitely subjective to everybody. I'm an engineer, right? And so I do architectural work. Sometimes I go to a client, I ask the client, what do they want? They might tell me, hey, they want a daggone, I don't know if y'all seen like some of the little memes where they show like what a client wants, and that client wants a building. That building may be daggone just 2 sticks or whatever. But the engineer is like, no, you need brick walls, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that. You know what I'm saying? And so when it all comes together from the client to the engineer, it just comes together purely. So it's the same thing with what we're talking about, what Yusha is saying, what Zayd is saying and stuff like that. If we're talking about Islamic type of content, all this type of stuff, it gets sent to the other person and they have to process it as, can they take that within their life? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how can they take that, what we're saying, and apply it to their life? That is pure art in its purest form. And, that's how I feel what art is.
I think that's great. Go ahead, Deen, if you want to say something.
No, go ahead.
I can't hear you all that well, so I think you told me to go ahead. So I'm just go, because that's what I do. No, but I think that's great because we were just talking about the conference before you all, the conference that's happening in Atlanta. And one of the things that I had said about that, and a lot of things that are just happening in Islamic communities, that I feel like we're like going to this place of like not just saying the things that we believe, but actually doing the thing, right? It's about the application now, as you can't just be like, I just can't be wearing a kimar and like, doing some old other stuff. Like I actually have to, uphold what this represents. And so I loved all of your answers and reference to what Imam Bilal asked. And so we have this festival that is happening. What is it? 2 weeks, right? It's 2 weeks. Yeah. So in 2 weeks. And so what are you expecting? Like, tell us, I don't know. What are y'all expecting to bring? What kind of energy? What are you looking for? What are you planning to bring? What are you I don't know. I don't even know what I'm asking. I just want to know, like, what are y'all, why it's gonna be hot? That's what I really want to say. Now I gotta go straight to my street language. Why it's gonna be hot? Why should we come?
Let's start with Barakat.
Don't get stuck now.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
That's
Hey,
what I'm talking about.
Listen, we gonna shut it down. That's all I'm gonna say. We just gonna shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Like we bring in, like I said, hip hop. That's what we bring into the table.
Okay.
That's what we bring into the table. We just gonna shut it down, from Yusha to Zayd to Neelam to Sister Kilana. And Sister Kilada right now is working on a remix to my hijabs and thobes, so hopefully that'll be done by time the show starts. But we just gonna shut it down. That's it. I mean, come out, support. I mean, this is all about support. It's a free event for one. You know what I'm saying? It's a free event, and plus, this is the 30th annual festival. One of the longest running annual festivals in the city of Philadelphia, Islamic. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm gonna tell you, back in the day, where I'm from Philadelphia, but I don't live there no more. But back in the day, my father used to always go to those festivals and sell his clothes and all that type of stuff. And I remember seeing Native Deen there, all of them guys there. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, me being on that stage, that Native Deen took that stage, that Zane Beaker took that stage, we're going to shut it down.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I was saying. Like, because I mean, my thing is like, let's get the excitement with it. And inshallah, I'm going to bring my daughters with me because, I have a little one who's 11. Well, she was with me last year. She rocked out with me last year, y'all. She did. And then we found the bouncy house and she dissed me. But my older girls, I got 17 and I got 19. Inshallah, I'm gonna bring them because I want them to be able to experience us doing us and like not having to put yourself in an environment that may be questionable or like, because we all got that tug. Like if we really, really, being 100, 1,000, right? Everybody got that tug to, be doing something else. And so it's always good to sort of motivate and highlight in the area where, we want to keep people in the Deen. Y'all was getting too serious in the conversation for me, so I had to like hype it up. Y'all had to hype it up a little bit. Somebody put in the comments snippets. Was that Jada?
Yeah, Jada. We're gonna get that.
Jada trying to start trouble.
Jada will all the smoke.
We're gonna do that at the end. Man. A little snippet, man. Everyone, a little snippet.
I want to jump in. I want to say this.
Yes, sir.
2016, I mean, mashallah, I had the opportunity to open up for mainstream artists, The Game, right? And I had a fraternity brother who knew I'd do music forever, but he hadn't really had a chance to see me perform. He came to that show. It was at the Fillmore here in D.C. And by the time I jumped off the show, my line brother, he just came back. He looked at me. He was like, bruh, I didn't know you did it like that. And so when it comes to this show, he didn't come to the show because he was expecting great music from me. He came because I was his brother. What we do know about a lot of our Muslim family is that you really don't know us. You don't know what we do. So we're not asking you to come just to get a good show. We ask you to come because we're your brothers, we're your sisters. The hope is that by the time we leave the stage, you understand. So I could tell you all the things I could tell you, but by the time I leave the stage, you'll understand.
That's what I say. Drop the mic. That's all. That's what I'm talking about. Drop the mic. Go ahead, Zay. You wanted to say something? You got to get in there now. We just can't leave you out now.
I mean, this brother just dropped the "I open for the game." I ain't got that one. but what I can honestly say is, especially for my artistry, how I've crafted my words, how I've put this work together. The understanding is that there's nothing like it. There's nothing like our language. And my thing is that once we understand that there's nothing like our language, and all we would want to desire is the language we've been blessed with and where it comes from, I'm telling you, there will be full bellies and thirst is the thirst will be quenched out there because I just have an overflowing cup. And I'm just saying, it's like that. I don't know. My poetry kind of speaks for itself. I don't really hype myself up like that. That's just me. I don't know. It's hard. It's weird. But y'all get it. Y'all get it. And this video wall too. Oh no, don't give me graphics.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Throw that flyer back up there, y'all. We trying to get y'all hype. Y'all need to be in Philly in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. You already know what's happening.
You heard? It's free. You ain't got to pay no monies, no coin. Well, you do have to support the vendors. You do have, and I want y'all to get out here and support our artists too. You know, I know they got platforms where we can buy their music or whatever. Like, y'all need to get out here and support that. I need to see y'all in Pick in Philly. I'm gonna be a little late, but I'm gonna be there, inshallah. I got a couple of jobs before I head down to Philly, but inshallah, I'm gonna be there. I want to see y'all there. We gonna be bumping our heads together because I'm definitely gonna be like this in the spot. Come through.
Yeah, pull up. But before we let brothers go, we cannot let them go without giving us a actual snippet. Like an actual snippet. Some fire, man. I know Baraka Salam, I know you got some fire. I know Zay got some fire. I know Yusha got some fire. Who wants to go first?
Look, Yusha rotating his eyes. He going back and he going into the crate in his mind. I saw that.
In the crate.
He was going in the crate.
Going in the crate. Who wants to shoot first? Jose got it.
If y'all
wait, y'all want me to go first?
Look. I got you. Zikr after zikr. You come a long way, a long conscious. No confessions. Let's just be honest. This love was built with trust, no walls of separation. Ground yourself with a strong foundation. That's all I'm gonna give y'all.
We need one of those. We need one of those. Then you gotta find that. He found it.
I'm gonna give y'all a 16, but you're not gonna get this at the festival. This not what you're getting at the festival, but I'll just give you what I do. I say, I don't walk with disbelievers. I'ma stand firm on my straight and narrow, on my natural. I can't stand a perm. Give me all your coils and your locks, and you can stand affirmed. I protect what you protect. That's your hair and your curves. Hit up all my brothers in the chat. I'm saying, what's the word? Time for us to get back to the fast so we can shake the world. Devil trying to break the world. Haters trying to take the world. I lean in the key on retreat to recreate the world. Watch who you be talking with. They could be an angel in disguise and who you treat bad. They could be a devil telling lies, boy, I sin bad. Life without a law is just a joke to me. Devil tried to offer me something that I done been had. Firmly on my spiritual tip, they calling me crazy because how I say that we manifest life and birth babies. My hood homie's been pregnant with dreams, but lost the power to step inside the delivery room and burst at the seams. I've been pregnant 4 times over. Been through gestation, nothing but just patience. I had you all waiting while I was Harlem shaking. See, I had to lose Satan, but watch for my new baby. That joint gonna ooze greatness.
Yeah. All right, Zay. Take us home.
Oh man, I got
yeah. Pressure's on. You got it.
Real faith is what phases waves of the sun's light to walk on top of the waters, reflecting a pure human essence that is just following orders that are often observed on us orphans, privileged to witness how the creation of nature is flawless. These are the side effects of reading or rewatching my performance recordings. You cordially start acting according to the most excellent expressions of a soul in the garden before you even enter a coffin. Faith is what causes our hearts to soften. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it.
It is. You know where to be at in 2 weeks. Philadelphia City of Brotherly Love and Sisterly Affection. Duff, come through. Come support. Come for Juma. Come support the vendors. Hang out with the Muslims. Bring your family, please. Bring your kids. Bring your family. Bring your kids. It's a family event. Bring your kids. They're going to enjoy it. There's the artist. There it is. You got some of them today. In fact, we're back on next week. We got a couple more artists on next week. So they're going to give us more heat. So you know where to be at. Inshallah. All right. Next week, Philly. This week, 2 weeks Philly. Next week is Atlanta. So we got a lot of things happening in the community. Let's take advantage of opportunities and let's be close to one another. We have COVID in the way of us getting close. Now we can better appreciate our time together. Since we've been through that struggle, and let's be together as a community, inshallah, God willing.
I found the beat, y'all.
The beat? You found the beat? What beat you found, man? What beat you found, man?
Scratch
Okay, you didn't find no B. You didn't find no
You know,
boop, boop, boop.
Get out of here with that.
So you found a B? Like, whoa. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So until next time, we're actually going to go out, close out this show. But, inshallah, it's been always good to see everyone here. If you please share the live stream, please share the stream, please subscribe YouTube channels, New Freedom Exchange with Ed, New Freedom Network with and let's get it. We look forward to seeing you all next Saturday, same place, same time, 7 o'clock. But also tomorrow, we'll be back on 7 o'clock with our members of the Flori community, our fellow brothers and sisters of the Christian community, talking about the faith communities coming together around the word of life. We're going to talk about the scripture and its application to our everyday life. All right. So until then, peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
Let's
wa
talk
barakatuh.
about it. Quran and Sunnah, Kitab, talk hadiths, no rumors. Love of Allah, Prophet Muhammad. Rest and blessings of peace be upon them. Woo!
Cito, that's hard.
You know, they're the richest culture in the world. First it's stone, the flow is graffiti is a mural. Recognize the modesty when you see them wearing. Recognize the modesty when you see us wearing. See us wearing the those that got fires. Recognize the modesty when you see them wearing. See them wearing. Recognize the modesty when you see us wearing. See us wearing the those that got fires. You know we have the richest culture in the world. So fresh and stir. Upward with the flow. This graffiti is a mural. You will oyster, want you disturbed like a pearl. They say take it off the body positivity. You keep it on because the honor and the dignity. Possibilities, probabilities. Statistically speaking, you're one in a billion. Trust in that process, reaching for the ceiling. Forget what that man think, Allah knows how you feelin'. Don't be ashamed, modesty conceals your tattoos. Unplanned moments got you beaten to a bad tune. They say you out of it, they call you Majnun. But they don't know you don't sujude in the afternoon. Criticize with hate on both sides, but Jesus' mother, she was covered. Recognize the modesty when you see them wearing. Recognize the modesty when you see us wearing. See us wearing the those that got fires. Recognize the modesty when you see them wearing. See them wearing. Recognize the modesty when you see us wearing. See us wearing the those that got fires. Step aside and recognize all the brothers with bears and such marks. Forehead and prostrating, sitting contemplating. No whispers when you zikr from the heart. Take a stand, don't be influenced. Never follow the crowd because other men do it. Everybody saying king this, king that. Where's your crown? I wear my crown. On my head, that's where it's found. 23 and me, this blood is royalty. Watch them cast this wave, signing disorderly. We don't want the style with sagging and showing undies. I'd rather wear nice camise with the lungi. Designer though, my clothes not European. We were stripped and sold and told we have the poorest region. Grandfather day, and I fly on that carpet. No chance, we all a Deen, yes, me in that market. Recognize the
nobody than trust yourself. It's one of the greatest lessons I've learned. Shout out to when y'all invest in for helping us to see what trust really means. Let's get it.
Just stay focused on the plans that you have. Don't let them taper your emotions, they're just making you sad. They wanna control you, they console you just to say that they had your back. And we know that is just a lie, and in fact, they wanna push on your emotions, all the pains that they have. Make you a villain in their village so they do not see bad inside themselves, hide themselves, and will not be glad to see you win outside the plans that they have. But trust yourself to be all you said you'd be. Oh, trust yourself to be more than what you see. Oh, trust yourself. Trust yourself if nobody else. As long as you got you, you're never by yourself. My daddy used to say don't get beside yourself, but you see the picture clear from outside yourself. Speak your truth, never hide yourself. It takes too many years to find yourself. They used to ask me, who are you? I couldn't say, I had to find myself. I took the time to realign myself. Searching the industry for gold, but be bold enough to mind yourself. And you might find that you're a dime yourself, or a diamond in the rough to be cuffed by only time itself. Learn how to outshine yourself. Take your time, become your timeless self. Put your heart inside your grind, be the energy behind yourself. Look in the mirror, say I'm great, and do that to remind yourself that you'll still become your higher self. And just stay focused on the plans that you have. Don't let them taper your emotions, they're just making you sad. They wanna control you, they console you just to say that they had your back. And we know that is just a lie, and in fact, they wanna push on your emotions, all the pains that they have. Make you a villain in their village so they do not see bad inside themselves, hide themselves, and will not be glad to see you win outside the plans that they have. But trust yourself to be all you said you'd be. Oh, trust yourself to be more than what you see. Oh, trust yourself. Conversations over faith and fear. Faith to tell you leave, fear keep you here. Running through the scenarios in your mind, scared to make the wrong decision every time, so I don't decide. Living the indecision after hurt again, hoping to meet your expectations so we both can win. But I don't meet your expectations and get chastised. I say that I love you, then I backslide. But really, you don't like it when I do it my way. Ain't satisfied when I do it your way. So what decision to make? I don't think I'm gonna be loved either way. I don't think that you know love either way. I don't think you love you either way. I think you in the way if you were not having real love either way. I got decisions to make. I think I'm just gonna do it my way. Love you on purpose, let you push it away. Just stay focused on the plans that you have. Don't let them taper your emotions, they're just making you sad. They wanna control you, they console you just to say that they had your back. And we know that is just a lie, and in fact, they wanna push on your emotions, all the pains that they have. Make you a villain in their village so they do not see bad inside themselves, hide themselves, and will not be glad to see you win outside the plans that they have. But trust yourself